Let's check out the tournament scene for bass tournaments for opening weekend. Saturday, opening day itself, we have two tournaments going head to head, probably two of the bigger tournaments this summer. NBAA 2013 St. Clair Open. That's been a pretty good tournament the last few years. Launches out of the Michigan DNR Harley-Ensign boater access site on South River Road. They've been getting 70 to 100 boats, maybe a little more a couple times in that tournament. It's a team tournament. Launch probably around first light, so you want to get there early. Check out nbaa-bass.com for more information. Generally though, the entry fee is $170 per team. That includes big bass, so that's nice. But if you register at the boat ramp, it is $180 for registering late. So there's no membership required. It is an open tournament. Also Saturday is Cash for Bass. They are going out of the Michigan Department of Natural Resources. That's MDNR Selfridge Boater Access Site. That's also a team tournament. The entry fee is $200 and there's an optional $10 big bass pot. I'd say this time of year, good idea to get in that. So if you want more information on Cash for Bass, that's cashforbasstour.com. Both tournaments Saturday are guaranteeing $5,000 first place, but that's with a minimum number of teams. For the higher entry in Cash for Bass, they're having a first place of $5,000 if they get 50 teams, and NBA is first place of $5,000 if they get 75 teams for that lesser entry fee. Normally there's some club opens and things on Sunday of opening weekend on Lake St. Clair. They may be there. You may want to check out Harley-Ensign early in the morning. That's usually where they go out of. Could not find any information, so they're either not promoting them or maybe they're just not having them this year. Later in the week on Thursday, June 20th, the first evening tournament that I'm aware of is Cash for Bass Thursday night tournaments at 5 p.m. check-in. Harley-Ensign MDNR Boater Access Site. They're going to have them just about every Thursday night, except for a couple of weeks when they want to work around the big tournaments or holiday. That's a team tournament also, $50 entry fee plus $10 big bass. Again, cashforbasstour.com. So that's what I'm aware of for this weekend and the upcoming week. Remember, if you're looking for bass tournament information, you can always check out greatlakesbass.com/forum. There's an entire section on bass tournaments, and we also have a calendar on the forum. You do not have to be a member to look that up, although I'd sure appreciate it if you'd consider joining, considering that it's a free. So then you'll find out quite a bit of information on all the Great Lakes region, but especially Lake St. Clair, because we all love fishing there, don't we?
Hi, this is Wayne Carpenter from Lake St. Clair, Michigan. We're coming up on Catch and Keep opening day, third Saturday in June, and it's looking to be a good one. We've got tournaments launching this weekend, so there'll be a lot more fishing pressure on the lake. At this point in the season, we're starting to get towards the end of the spawn period. There's still some spawning fish out there, but there's a lot of post-spawn fish as well. Actually, last week, some of the early spawners were already on a post-spawn feed, and that was exciting. We're starting to see a little bit more surface activity. You'll see cottonwood on the water when you come out this weekend. That's a good sign. That means the topwater bite is on. Top to bottom on the lake, in the channel area, the waters are still pretty cool, so we're not getting a lot of bass in the channel system so much. Interestingly enough, the largemouth bite, which is really strong up in this area this time of year, is kind of quiet so far. But around the edges of the channel system, in the shallows, yeah, there's some post spawners roaming around. Look for transition spots to be fired up. The Selfridge area is always a good place to start on opening day. There are good numbers of big fish there. There'll be heavy fishing pressure, of course, but the bite has slowed down a little bit as we've been progressing through the spawn. As we go down towards the Mile Roads has still been strong. You can certainly get in groups of boats and catch fish there, but if you want to raise the size of your catch, you might want to go a little shallower or a little deeper to try to improve that. Going down towards Grosse Pointe Shores and Windmill Point, you've got your rock-sand combinations. It's hard to go wrong when you cast at dark spots. Water quality's been a little hit and miss. We've had a lot of east winds for about a month, some north winds, and this week is no exception. We had a strong storm come through early in the week, dirtied the water up a little bit, but things are clearing up. So you'll find some areas that are clear and some not so much. If we get a little east wind, watch for that to dirty up the shoreline a little bit. Wheat growth is a little lower than we'd expect for this time of year. In the Selfridge area, it's probably about 60% of what it's going to be, and in the Mile Roads, it's about probably around 50% or so of what the eventual wheat growth will be for the season. All in all, it's shaping up to be another exciting opening day for Catch and Keep on Lake St. Clair. Look forward to seeing you out there on the water.
We had a really cold spring and a late start to this year. The good news is the bass seem to be trying to gear up as fast as they can. So lots happening quick. You got a mix of pre-spawn still. You got some spawners out there, and you have post-spawn already. So mayfly hatches kind of getting going late. So that's going to be interesting. That may affect this weekend, opening weekend, a little bit. The fishing reports on GreatLakesBass.com on the forum have been a little sparse. I don't have a lot of fishing reports from the last few days, but the reports that were coming in before that are pretty interesting. We're having a lot of bad weather. We had some really bad storms and a ton of rain, so as usual you may expect some muddy water on Lake St. Clair. The good thing about Lake St. Clair is the water exchange is very fast, so it can clear up pretty quick depending on the wind direction. So you can also, it's a big lake, a lot of current, you can find some clear water when you look around. So that may be the trick. What's interesting is anglers adjusting by speeding up and using flashier lures, noisier lures. A lot of fishing reports talk about rattle trap type baits, different brands. But what's interesting just this last 2 weeks is fishing reports about the spinnerbait being really hot right now. We don't have mayflies hatching. We do have fish moving around a lot. We have fish wanting to do things, and they want to feed, they want to spawn, so they're moving in and out. And so the spinnerbait has been the hot bait really for the last 2 weeks from what I'm seeing and hearing, with a little bit of touch now on the topwater with the mayfly starting to hatch. So don't forget that topwater, especially if you have fairly calm conditions. And if you see anything happening on the surface, cut glbass.com/weather. You go to that and just look for Lake St. Clair marine forecasts, and you can go right to that section and you can pull up the U.S. marine forecast, and you can see right now for this weekend they're calling for south winds 5 to 10 knots, chance of showers and possibly thunderstorms mid-afternoon on Saturday. On Sunday, same wind, maybe southwest, mostly cloudy, waves 2 feet or less, possible thunderstorms and showers. So might actually make the fishing better out there this time of year, although it could make sight fishing a little harder. But remember that spinnerbait and topwater bite, that might be the key this weekend for some of you. But once you locate the fish, I would recommend working the area really good, because right now is a good time to find a pot of fish out there, either feeding or doing the spawning, post-spawn thing. So make sure you check out that weather section before you head out in the lake. It's available all year, and it's updated as often as the weather services and all the various resources update.
One extreme bass tackle bait that's been really shining has been the Canadian Mist drop shot tube, and this is my version of a drop shot rig. This is how I rig it. It's an octopus circle hook in line, and I put the drop shot tube on there just like live bait, and I run it down not too far, maybe a foot or so down to a pencil weight. And I use a standard pencil weight for like river fishing for walleye. It tends to go through the rocks and through the weeds better. But this has been hot, hot, hot. Whether times are good or whether times are tough out here, put the Extreme Bass Tackle Canadian Mist drop shot tube on. You'll be catching a lot. The mayfly hatch is on us. Right now the mayflies are just a little bit smaller and a little bit blacker, but the big juicy ones are on their way. They should be coming up next. One thing Extreme Bass Tackle has for you is the Mayfly Extreme Bass Tackle Mayfly Tube. We fish this 2 different ways. We fish it wings up, you can see the silvery wings there, or we fish it wings down like that, so you have a darker belly like this. This bait is good all year long, but this would be a really good time to pull it out during the mayfly hatch.